got Ethan Scheibe here. We just got back from NorCal. Yeah, for semifinal.
Mm-hmm. It was
in person, I guess.
Yeah, first in person. It was a pretty cool in person, like first one to be at. I think just like the classic CrossFit feel and the outdoor vibe was really cool. So
I was talking to Michael Fitzgerald, and he's like, I wonder if they have a contingency plan for if it rains. And I was like, I don't think so. I think it's like you do burpee pull-ups and hand release push-ups, and that's who they're sending to the games.
Yep. No, I think I mean, there's nowhere to hide in that area. They're not bringing any tents. They're not doing anything. It's going to be pretty open.
So I will say I was at this event and I competed at this event last year. It was almost a different event from last year. Like an event, obviously, like organizers were the same. Some style of events were similar. That like time domains were pretty similar, that kind of thing. And the breadth of what they tested. But in terms of like organization and even like the exercise selection was a noticeably different. I think in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of gripes about last year, and I think largely the event ran on time. Largely there weren't event changes, which are two things that mattered a lot, that got a lot of scrutiny last year, as they should.
For sure. I mean, I think we only ran late on 2 events, I think, from what I remember. And it was a pretty negligible amount of time. It was only like 5-10 minutes. It
was only enough time for you to cool down.
enough time to cool down in the warm-up area before you hit a 365 deadlift cold. Yeah.
Last year was literally before like I went and hit my max clean, basically. Yeah. Not everybody else, but for me it was my max. Yeah. I mean, overall it is a very unique, it's a cool event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think maybe I got to appreciate that as much when I was actually competing as when I was there coaching. It is cool just having like an outdoor venue with like a couple different floors and, you know, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a festival at this point.
I mean, it feels like Wadapalooza, but on the like Miami Wadapalooza on the West Coast. That's what it feels like. Just with the amount of competitors there, the outdoor vibe, and then you have all the vendors just right in the middle, right? So you pass through everybody as you go into your area. So
and we went back to the Airbnb basically each between events except for one that was more or less back to back with a relatively short turnaround. But a lot of people who were just like in the community divisions, which there were like a million of, just had like tents set up and were just like chilling in the grass.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you were less concerned about eking out every percentage of your performance, I feel like that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, that'd be a great time. I think Nick and I were actually talking about that on the way back from one of the events and how much fun it would be if we weren't so worried about, you know,
actually performing at your best.
Yeah, scoring so high. Yeah. So
yeah. Where it's kind of like you want to get out of the noise, you want to get out of the heat, definitely out of the sun. Yeah, when you're really concerned about stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you probably haven't gone to an event that was like primarily outdoor stuff before, right? Like run outside, but outside of that.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just Wadapalooza for team last 2 years.
Yeah.
I did like this time last year. I did a local competition that's outdoors, but it's kind of under a pavilion, so you don't have to face the sun or anything, but you get the humidity of Minnesota
right into the sun.
Yeah.
So let's just walk through event by event. Yeah, just tell us what your experience was with it. First one is quad trio for time, 4 rounds for time, 30 cal row, 50 double under, 400 meter run, 50 double under. So flow of this one was essentially you start on your rower or start behind your rower. And then after your 30 cals, you go to a tiny mat that's like a 3x3 in in a grass field to do your double unders. And then you like run this zigzagging course that's, approximately 400 meters. So it's probably very close. And then, double under your mat again before going back to your rower.
Yeah.
20-minute cat. I
mean, the whole workout for me is just, the running and the double unders, right? Just execution on those movements. I think the run, it was actually pretty nice that those sharp corners were there, just to kind of slow people down around those pretty tight turns. So there was a lot of grouping.
Yeah, it was one of those where like, if you had like really fresh legs and you're trying to run fast, then you could make up some speed, but like everybody was more or less blown up running.
Yeah.
Where like if you have a bunch of blood in your legs, you don't want to be cutting and turning and accelerating and decelerating really quickly. Whereas if it was like on like a track, people who are really efficient, springy, you could get a lot more of an advantage there, and it'd be a lot easier to pass people too.
Yeah, for sure.
Where this course did probably slow down some of the better runners.
Yeah, and you had to kind of weigh the ups and downs of that effort it takes to pass somebody in the moment, just because you are going to slow down, you are going to go faster. It's going to blow up your legs right into double unders. And so, again, kind of like having 100 dubs around with execution, it's just trying not to trip. So, trying to save yourself for that. And then for me, the row was just a recovery. You and I put a pretty strict cap of around 1500s on the cal for that, just to
that
make
recovery
sure
row at 1500.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, again, that workout just running dubs for me.
Yeah. I think of the events of like programming wise, I think this and the rope climb one were my favorites. Of like, I think they were good tests.
Yeah.
Like good balanced tests. The rest of them I would probably make some sort of tweak on.
Okay.
But that one I liked.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun overall, and it was pretty decent weather for it too, I will say.
Like if you had a qualifier and it was 30 calorie row, 100 double under, 400 meter air runner or something, like people would probably say it's pretty balanced. Like it doesn't really favor any type of athlete, which I like.
No, for sure.
Like I think I could have kept you within reach just by double undering insanely fast.
Yep.
And killing myself on the run.
Yeah. I think I would have caught up on the row alone. I think that would have been.
Oh yeah, I would have been rowing my heart out and seeing you. It's like the concept too, where it shows if they would have linked the rowers, it shows you how far somebody's ahead. It would be like Ethan, just like here he comes. Yeah. All right, event 2, NorCal Sioux 2, 4-time, 7 ring muscle up, 40 thruster, 135, 7 ring muscle up, 30 thruster, 7 ring muscle up, 20 thruster, 7 ring muscle up, 10 thruster. Super excited about it when this one got announced.
Yep.
I think everybody was like, there was like a collective like,
Yeah. So many thoughts were going through my head when they said NorCal Sioux 2, because I knew what the original NorCal Sioux was, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. So
yeah, the original one was what, an EMOM of, well, this is 100 thrusters for time.
100 thrusters for time. I think the first 3 minutes was 3 ring muscle ups.
Yeah. So on the minute you stop and do muscle ups.
And then 4 through 6 was 2 ring muscle ups. 7 through 10 was 2.
Yeah.
Or 3, 2, 1. Sorry, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
I'll let you talk about your experience doing the workout.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about what I would change about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the ring muscle ups weren't even there. It wasn't even part of the workout.
That's my gripe. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like any time that you were on the ring, it was okay. For me, I did the first 7 unbroken just because I'm fresh. I'm feeling good. And just wanting to get a little head start on the set of 40 thrusters. But any set after that, it's like, I don't know, you spend just under a minute on the rings because you're going to break it 4-3 just to manage some of your fatigue. and you're right back to the thruster. It's just like that bar was just relentless. You and we kind of picked out a rep scheme that was a little ambitious right away, and I kind of quickly abandoned that as I realized how brutal this was going to be. So
yeah, and it was also one of those where like on paper, like we're trying to keep you competitive.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna suck either way.
Yep. Yep.
Like, it's just like a matter of like, okay, how do we stay sort of disciplined in the first half of like, 6-year breaks don't go out too fast, and then in the back half, like how do we make sure you're disciplined and like not taking any more rest than you actually need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 40, 30, 20, 10 is 100 if people haven't done the math yet. I mean, I guess maybe their justification of this was that the original was 100 thrusters, and that's why they kept 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it would have been a better workout if it was, 30, 20, 10 and 10, 10, 10 on the thrusters, or a 10, 10, 10 on the ring muscle up.
Mm-hmm. A lot more balance, you're saying, between the two movements?
Yes, where they both matter.
Yeah.
Whereas like
you would have to make choices on the rings too, right? That it would force you to make a decision.
Right. Whereas like the only thing people had to decide on was, well, I guess you could decide on the rings, but it was really just how can I manage this so I can get back to the thruster as fast as I can, because that's really, or with the least fatigue I can. So that's because that's the only thing that mattered. So yeah, and also like how it played out, it kind of exaggerated it even more. It was a 12-minute cap. I mean, a lot of the field did not finish.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the majority of the field, actually.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I was one ring muscle up from finishing that last set, and then I would have only had 10 thrusters left, and I think I took like 22nd, 21st or something like that in the workout. Yeah.
Okay, so there's close to 25 guys who didn't finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot. And of those, I'm sure at least probably 20 did not do that final set of ring muscle ups, which means they did 21 ring muscle ups and 70, roughly 90 thrusters.
Yeah.
Is that balanced? Like maybe it's a 75-pound thruster.
Yeah. Skewed a little differently.
Yes.
Skewed a little differently. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I mean, that one was just pain cave, I mean, it was just how much can you kind of push through the suck. And, for us, we've been working on that classic, like Fran push-pull combination for a while. So it was good to get that tested a little bit, but it did so in a brutal way.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I have nothing against brutal tests, but I don't necessarily think you need to place it where it affects the expression of the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see like Murph being like a day one event.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see a marathon row as a first day event.
Yeah.
And I understand why people would say otherwise for adversity and that, but it's like, it's just not a good like sport take on it. It's
Mm-hmm. I mean, it definitely did affect the rest of the weekend, especially with the amount of, quad intensive and glute intensive work we still have left.
Which, speaking of which, the next morning after you did 100 thrusters, you had the mountain, which was a 20K bike rig for time. And at the 20-minute mark, they just slammed that damper up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we knew that one was going to be good for you. I mean, you're 222, 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, I do a lot of my biker work on 10. I was like, okay.
I think Nick was joking around like, who touches a 10 damper, on a biker. I'm like, well, I got a little bit of experience with it.
So yeah, I mean, thankfully we had done a 20-minute time trial, so we knew an estimate of your FTP off that.
Yep.
And that's basically what we calculated in terms of a pace, and just said, start at this pace, see how it feels, and provided it doesn't feel like trash, don't increase that for the first 15.
Yeah.
And then so how did that actually play out when you were out there? Which, by the way, everybody was in the shade, and all the bikes are right in this big group, and at the very end of the shade, because it's all under a tree, there's like 4 bikes in the sun, and you're one of those guys. So
I
was in the sun for the whole event.
Basically on the very end, in the sun the whole time. 35-minute event, right? I was able to hold the pace that we talked about pretty well throughout the the entire first part of it, that whole 20 minute. I knew that it was going to be a kind of a more comfortable pace for me on that bike. And I had a feeling like guys were going to go up pretty hot. So I knew
Yeah.
not to, get caught up in like seeing my place on the actual biker leaderboard that they had. And just know that, the time will come to push, and to have that juice left in the legs was going to be super important for even the last like 5 to 6 minutes, as people are trying to hammer down, but they just don't have the endurance.
Yeah. It was very much, I mean, obviously because it's a 35-minute event,
Mhm.
but even more, it's like, especially after the damper change, it has this feeling of like, okay, now it's time to go, where it's like, actually it's not yet. Like
No.
you need to stay relaxed for a while yet.
Mhm.
And you actually started slightly under pace, or I guess over pace, like a little slower. And then, so you were like middle of the pack by like the halfway mark or so.
Yeah.
Basically before the damper change, which would have been over the halfway mark. And then, climbed on up.
Yeah. I mean, it was weird because like I felt really, really good at that 144, 145 pace, for that first 20 minutes. And with my experience of just like messing around with the damper 10 a lot, I kind of knew, where my comfortability would lie with that event. And I think I had around 8.5K left on the bike erg when we swapped up to that damper 10. And I could just kind of see the people around me getting pretty fatigued and gassed from it, and that kind of fueled my.
I mean, guys are standing up. Guys were like looking like they're pedaling squares. Like you could really tell that it was. Yeah, people are hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we get to that 3K left, and I gave you that look. And I was like, all right, here we go. I got it.
Yeah, you had me worried in the first part because you're pretty expressionless, and obviously everybody's sweating really bad because you're in the sun. So it just looks like you're working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really sure where you're at. And then like you looked over at me with like 3K and you're like, here we go. I was like, oh, he's got some juice in those legs left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We weren't done. We weren't out of it quite yet. So
I think you hit the fastest paces of anybody in that last. You probably had I guarantee you had the fastest like final 2K split.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know like for the last 500 meters, I was holding right around like a 130 to 132 pace. And I mean, it was just, just kind of went from that 141. I held a 141 pretty consistently the whole time on that damper 10. And under that, from like that 138 to 141 time frame. And it just kept going lower, as the time progressed. So
I had the shakes after that workout. I was screaming so hard at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept looking at the board, and it was like all of them were so like, 6 through 2 were all so close in your heat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every meter here is going to make a difference.
For sure.
It ended up, you were within 1 second of being second in your heat.
Yep.
Third overall.
Yeah. And then 6 seconds for the spread from first place to me, I think.
Yeah. So the difference of being in the shade versus the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe that first guy was in the sun. Definitely not though. Definitely not though. Would have been nice. All right. Yeah. Event 4. So this was the day with 3 events. So this is the middle event of the day. Sand trap for time, 100-foot sandbag carry, 200 pounds. So basically, I guess you ran to your bag and carried it back to the rig.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had 1.5 rope climbs, as was 1 rep. So basically climb all the way up, touch the rig, halfway down the rope, below a certain marker, back up is 1 rep. You did 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Carry your bag all the way back out 100 feet, run back to the rig, then do 2 of those 1.5 rope climbs, another 100-foot carry, and then 1 final 1.5 rep rope climb, carry your bag, and waddle to the finish line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
7-minute cap.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quick one. It was pretty breathy, just from holding the sandbag, compressing your diaphragm a little bit.
Yeah, roughly like 4 minutes for a lot of guys.
Yeah. And I think one of the worst parts of that workout, which was really unexpected, was carrying the sandbag and the leg fatigue. Just like the pounding from the 20-minute or for the 20K bike erg and then NorCal Sioux the night before, like carrying that sandbag was rough. It was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. And then I think two things with those 1.5 rope climbs. Like one, it's way easier just because it's a new movement. It's really easy to kind of bobble it or like falter on your technique or like a foot clamp or ideal hand placement or anything like that. In an event that short, those add up. Those little missteps, those little repinches. So across the board, you kind of saw that with people who were just a lot smoother with it. It would be less taxing, and then they'd also get done with it quicker. And then the other thing with like those 1.5 reps is that like when you're coming down, obviously you get more time under tension each time because you don't deload at all. Like you don't get off the rope in between like a rep. So it's like essentially like you're climbing a full rope climb of it was probably more like 16 feet plus another like 8 on top of that. But you're also having to, when you're coming down for the half rep, you basically are braking yourself, which you never really do in like a regular rope climb. You are descending, but you never actually stop on the rope. You use the ground to stop. Where in this case, like you're using your grip and your biceps to stop your momentum and turn it to go the other way, which I feel like really blew up people's grip and biceps.
Yeah. And I mean, if like you were talking about, if you had a misstep with your feet and you couldn't lock, I mean, so much of your bicep was taking that and just trying to hold on. And by the last rope climb, I mean, you couldn't feel your biceps, your grip was blown up, and then you had to go bring that sandbag another 100 feet, and try and sprint back, right? So the thing that felt the worst was grip and biceps, 100%. I mean, it was just trying to hold on to that rope.
Yep. And then they closed out that night, bar exam. It's basically a clean and jerk ladder. Started at 245 for 4, 295 for 3, 325 for 1 or 2, and then 345 for 1. Yeah.
I mean, classic clean and jerk ladder, right?
Yeah.
We got teased a little bit over there in NorCal with the fake scorecards, so that was cool.
I was watching another athlete. They brought their card over to their coach, and it had weights written on it, and it was what was it? 245, 295, 315, 325. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is great information. They changed the weights last year. They're doing it again.
Yeah.
They must not have tried it on the shorty bars again.
Yeah.
And then you could tell them what happened when you got to the tent.
Yeah. So we get to the tent, and the guy briefing the workout is like, hey, I don't know what sick joke they're playing on you guys. It is the original weight. You guys are doing 325, 345 for the final 2 bars. And we're like, all right, cool. So we had our original plan. We restructured for a new weight setup. Now we're going back, right? It's just kind of that rise and dip of information. Yeah.
So besides that, what's the plan on this one?
245 obviously is like a pretty lightweight, just stay really smooth and steady. At 295, we were going to power clean, push jerk first 2, and then prime that squat a little bit on the last rep. 325 comes around, squat clean, squat jerk. Just be really consistent. Try not to fail reps, which I did. I failed my first 325 jerk. I think I just pushed a little too far forward and got a little too excited, but was able to hit the next 2, just fine. And then 345 came around and just missed the jerk by maybe an inch as I'm bringing my feet underneath my body. So overall, like
I told you,
yeah.
But like, I literally think if you would have ripped the bar down and like pushed your hands on it and jumped over it to go to the finish line, that your judge wouldn't have said a word because it was literally that close. Like it was just one of those, like, as you're bringing your feet together, the weight kind of pulled you in a weird direction. Your feet moved around, and then you dropped the bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I said, I'm not a premature cheer, and I was getting ready to scream. So,
yeah.
It's about as close as you can get.
And, thankfully, like 345 is a good enough weight to where people, who can't handle that weight quite yet, like it's just not going to happen on that day. And so I only fell back a couple spots on the leaderboard
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. In other words, luckily you had a good tie break for the 325 bar.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, overall, like not a bad event. It was fun, like a clean jerk ladder I've never done in competition. So that was a cool experience. But
Yeah.
you know,
How do you
some
like
things
adding
to
your
learn.
own weights?
I mean,
that's like one of my pet peeves in a workout is when they make you
mhm,
add your own weights.
yeah. Yeah.
Like the Masters the other year had a, I think it was a snatch ladder, and you had to add your own weights, and it was like pretty light weights for some people. So it was literally
Mhm.
just like shoving on those weights as fast as you could. At
Yeah.
least this one you could kind of use it as strategic rest for most people.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like there was a bunch of random plates like last year just out on the floor. So we knew what we were putting on.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
Event 6, final day. 4 time, 20 lateral burpees over the dumbbell, 100-foot overhead dumbbell walking lunge with your right arm all the way out in the field. So you turn around, you lunge all the way back with those 100 feet with your left arm this time, and then 30 alternating dumbbell hang squat snatch. Again with that 70-pound dumbbell, and you advanced it every 10.
Mm-hmm. This one I was looking forward to, and it was gonna be fun. You and I had talked about kind of strategy for this one, and not full sending the burpees like some people did. You know, just like basically pre-fatigue and gas you out for basically 200 feet of lunging. You know, almost unbroken. Like the only rest we took was just to drop the dumbbell and switch hands. And so I think that kind of took a lot of people by surprise, just the fatigue level that came from that.
Yeah, you were almost, or if not the last off the burpees.
Yeah.
Not burping slow, just like methodical.
Mm-hmm.
Methodical relative to, I guess, like a 4 to 5 minute workout. And within the first 100 feet, you had passed like half the field already.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was overall second to get back from the lunge. I think Chase Brooks got me by just, I think one step. But I was able to catch him on the squat snatches with that. But lunges and overhead lunges is something I feel pretty confident in, like with a workout, just from being a hockey player all my life. It's just we did lunges nonstop all day, every day, for training in dry land. So
yeah,
it's definitely a movement I like.
Okay, so I'm okay with I well, first of all, we go back to the mountain. I was like, all right, if I'm reprogramming this event.
Mm-hmm.
We are foregoing, buying. They didn't buy GHDs, but that was my example. Like, don't buy a bunch of GHDs.
Yeah.
Don't buy new sandbags or something, right? Like, just use your old D balls that you've got laying around somewhere that I know you got for the next event. And instead, just buy a bunch of $500 bikes. Get Trek to be a sponsor or something, and do a 800-meter loop, and have you do that for a 40-minute AMRAP, or not even 40-minute AMRAP, like 10 laps for time. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Throw a couple logs in there that people got to carry their bikes over or something, make it weird. And I think that alone really balances out the entire weekend, because in my opinion, this whole thing is skewed towards, again, relative to what we've typically seen from CrossFit competitions and what we've seen as like in the last 3 to 4 years, like a profile games athlete, the skews to the big guy.
Yeah.
Like, I would be pissed if I was doing this testing body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Not that opinion matters a whole lot, but like, in my opinion, this is all skewed that direction. Look who made it through. Tudor and Dylan, 2 big dudes, powerful guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's just such a cool event if you do something like that, right? It doesn't have to be that, but like something like that. And then, so it takes it from being like a boring event, just excruciating to do, boring to watch, like nothing exciting about it, to like now really cool with still achieving the same time domain. Then you could leave 4 and 5 and they're not an issue at all. And then 6, instead of a dumbbell hang squat snatch, which is a terrible movement to try to judge.
Yeah.
Very subjective. And you're doing more squatting after Kalsu and heavy clean and jerks and a 20K biker, half of it on, last third on damper 10. Now just make it a power snatch.
Yeah.
Make it a hang power snatch, because you've got heavy deadlifts coming up, which is great. You can leave it at 70 and then like make the burpees worth something, and then make the dumbbell like worth something. Like do like either 40 and 40 or 50 and 50. And it's a great workout because then the time domain gets squeezed out just a touch longer too, and you don't have 2 that are 4 minutes long.
For sure. Yeah. Two workouts that were pretty similar in terms of just like setup and time domain that kind of felt the same, honestly. Like they were both really, really breathy.
Sandbag and
yep.
The lunge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very similar time domain. Same type of athlete, was successful in both. And again, like unfortunately some bad no rep calls on hang squat snatches.
Mm-hmm.
People who were riding the line who, again, it's tough to make up when it's a 4-minute workout, 5-minute workout.
Yeah.
All right, the finale. Toe tag for time, 10 deadlift, 365, 30-foot backwards handstand walking. Each had to be 15-foot unbroken sessions, 20 toe to bar, forward handstand walk unbroken on the way back, 30 feet, 20 deadlifts, 30-foot backwards handstand walk back to the rig, 10 bar muscle up, 30-foot forward handstand walk back to your bar for 10 more deadlifts, 30-foot backward, 20 toe to bar, 30-foot forward.
I was excited for the backward handstand walking. I think it's a cool and fun implement that they throw in there. And like you mentioned, the last couple of years, they've done something along those lines. You said this was like number 3 that they've had programmed.
At least number 3 that they've done specifically backwards handstand walking.
Yeah. But I mean, this one got a lot grippier than I thought. I mean, obviously you're holding on to 365 deadlifts.
With gloves.
You got some gymnastics, but that's the thing. It's, with gloves, made it real tough to, kind of hold on to some of those things. So it definitely played into handstand walking and just your ability to press into that floor and to manipulate your body in certain ways. So.
Yeah, definitely an event where like if you could afford to do it without the gloves, you would, but people are burning their hands. And, essentially the entire field wore gloves. So,
yeah, I mean, I was thinking last night, I was like, dude, I would love to try that in my gym, just without gloves and just like without the different elements. Cause I think it's such a cool and fun workout, that heavy deadlift, loading that posterior, going into that backwards handstand walk that requires just so much bracing and so much control. Yeah. And then into a core fatiguing gymnastics movement. Like it's really cool.
I really like this workout. Yeah. It would have been, I mentioned this to you, but it's like NorCal always prides themselves on being unknown and unknowable. It's not that if you've used it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So like, I like everything about the structure of the workout, even the fact that you're facing the same way on the handstand walk each time, just one's backwards, one's forward. I think all of that's really cool. Yeah, I just think that, and even watching it play out, I feel like it was less skewed towards the barbell than I originally thought it was. Like I thought this was going to be a big guy workout when I first saw it. And I think just the handstand walk created enough general shoulder fatigue that it made the gymnastics tough. Yeah, I just think you like some other handstand skill, and it's now a cool workout again.
Yeah.
Like if they had never done backwards before, I think that's really cool. With them having done it that many times again, and with it being NorCal, it's the big asterisk there. I think then it's like, why not do something a little wacky there? Because that's not.
Do you think it would have been cool to do instead of the backwards, like 15-foot lateral one direction drop, and then 15-foot lateral the other direction?
I think that's their style. Like,
yeah.
Do I think that's a good test of fitness to like the way I would measure it? No, but I guess it doesn't really matter what I think. Like with those guys and the way they think, Ben and Blair, I think you basically, yeah, you could do lateral, but like you just put down like 2 tape lines on the floor, like 12 or 18 inches apart, where you couldn't walk through it normally.
Yeah.
And you just say, walk through that.
Yeah.
A to B. You can't touch a line. And then it becomes like, that's just the only way to do it, unless you're like doing one of these.
Yeah.
Which that'd be kind of cool because then it'd be super subjective or objective to judge. And it would also just be like, different because that's what they go for.
Yeah. Fits the NorCal vibe.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though.
For sure.
Like I think all the changes I made would be stuff that if originally presented to them, maybe they would have thought like, oh, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm allowed to complain because I didn't compete. Is that
Yeah.
is that how it works?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be the opposite. You're allowed to complain because you competed, and I should just suck it up because I'm the one who's watching.
I mean, we had a lot of that too. We just had to suck it up because no matter what, you're doing the workout, right? So,
yes, yeah. I guess that's like generally how I advise athletes. That's always the way I thought about it. It's always how I advise athletes for it. And even to be honest, this was until the tail end of the competition. I am not thinking about it like very critically in that sense from as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my job is for you to perform the best that you can when you're there.
Yeah.
And that is figuring out how to pace and attack these workouts to be at your best.
Yeah, for sure.
None of the rest of that information really matters. Obviously, you want to do a little post-game analysis and look back on it. So that's why I'm being maybe overly critical. But
yeah, I mean, it doesn't help to break down the, who it benefits and who it doesn't benefit in the, the day of.
Not
right?
at all.
No. It doesn't help to do that.
No.
Yeah.
And so like I guess maybe this is our chance to talk about that stuff a little bit more since we didn't think about it that way or analyze it that way during the actual event. So, so we did. I'm gonna run because I got a coach to class, but thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hop on a C2 and not put it on damper 10.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't ride it at 130.
Yeah. No, I won't. Trust me.
All right, dude. I'll catch you later.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you.